Video is the #1 priority of all marketing. It's actually ahead of it. In a survey, it beat social media and email marketing as the #1 most urgent thing to address. I'm sorry, by a little bit, by a percent or two, because video is just simply it's the way people communicate. There's 4 to 7 times more response from video than from static text and graphics, and you get 3 to 4 times better response on your email marketing with video. And I actually just read a statistic that your chance of getting front page on Google is 53 times with video if it's optimized right. So that's there, right? But then you look at, well, if you're in the B2B space, what does that mean? It's just as important, I think, for B2B as it is B2C, is how do you communicate with your clients effectively with video. There's a lot of companies doing video and doing it wrong because they're just throwing tons of video out, and they think that because they're doing video, they're going to get results. But it has to be good content. The production values have to be at least reasonably good. Storytelling is a part of video that's more broadcast TV type of approach, which is much more effective than a talking head talking to a screen or a PowerPoint. So there's a lot that goes into video that will make it that's very, very important, and we have like a broadcast side of our business. We're producing broadcast TV now. It's sort of on the side, one of our reality show projects, and it really, how you tell your story is very important in video. But then again, that's not the case for everything. E-commerce improves, I think, up as much as 45% better, higher sales if you have video associated with your product lines, your product catalog. So that's not going to be lots of storytelling, but it still has to be done right? So video is talked about all the time because it's kind of expensive sometimes, and how can you make it effective for your business? And that's a challenge. And we help our clients, for example, figure out how they can make their video more affordable by cramming a whole lot of video in one day of shooting. And we had that conversation recently with a client.
You do the same thing for video. What are what's kind of the most exciting thing, and where's the low-hanging fruit for companies that have a lot of content and don't know how to get started in video? What should we do?
Well, first, if your company, most companies that are right now that are kind of medium to large size have video, but most companies aren't using it effectively. Most companies don't really get it, I think. And again, the larger companies in particular are slower to move, and I find a lot of smaller companies are really outdoing the bigger companies. It's because there's not a traditional budget sitting around for video, right? But video is so much more effective, so much more effective statistically. I threw out a few stats. I can go on and on about how many, that I just saw that 53 times. I couldn't believe it. So that to end up on first page of Google search. But there's no doubt that video is more. If people watch it, if there's video and text on the screen, people watch the video and ignore the text. If they go to screen without video, they're on it for 7 to 12 seconds. If they're on it with video, they're I think a minute and 40 seconds on average if they watch a video. And most videos are watched completely through, even if they're not good videos. So a few things I would say to do is first, if any content that's relevant, if it's thought leadership content, content about your products, training, put it in video if you can. If you can do it in 2 to 3 minutes or less, and you can get a bunch of video shot in one day to make it affordable, do it. Because people are going to watch that, they're not going to read your reams of text, they're just not going to do it. You want to measure it and you'll see that's the case. And another thing is, keeping it short, having it somewhat professionally produced, and it doesn't always take a lot of money to do that. But you see the deer in the headlights engineer that's never been in front of a camera before, with cotton mouth trying to talk. Okay, generally speaking, unless that guy's like a rock star of his industry, it's not a good idea. Hire a host. It's not that much money really. You get a host for a day, $800 or something like that for an entire day. So there's things you can do to make, and then having professional writing and good, some storytelling. If you make videos interesting, we had a client that was last week that was all excited about another company they saw that had this funny guy with like these a little bit like reality TV scenarios with their product. You can dress it up, and it doesn't take a whole lot, but it takes that. You have to think a video is not just a nice to have. Another thing I'll say is a lot of our clients a few years ago thought of video as, I have extra money, I want to spend it on a really nice video. But other than that, video is nice to have. Now it's mission critical. Without video, people are not watching and reading your site and learning from you. So there's a lot of things you can do. You can create one of our SolidWorks, one of our clients, we don't do their work right now for this show, but they have 2 reality TV shows on their website that are fun to watch and interesting, and they get a lot of viewers. So there's so much you can do with video. It's really limitless. It's like you watch TV and you see that 300 channels. You can do the same thing with your company, but how do you do it intelligently and drive results? And that's the question. So I could go on and on about videos. You can go on about search. Well,